Christopher Gill, come forward. All right, is this criminal trial division?
Yes, Judge, it is.
Court is calling NIMAC number 762704, State of Texas versus Christopher Gill. Can our parties announce for the record for the state?
Daniel Escobar for the state of Texas.
Defense?
Guillermo Lara for Mr. Gill, Your Honor. Good
And
morning.
good morning. Are you Christopher Gill?
Yes, I do.
All right. Defendant has filed a motion requesting relief of various sorts. Have you had a chance to review?
Judge, I believe on this case, we were going on an affidavit of non-driving.
No, this is what I have.
Oh, Judge, we had they had set it for the affidavit of non-driving. Am I mistaken on that? That's the only.
Yes,
thing I
this
can
is the only motion I have before me. So if you want to talk to the clerks and see if they have that motion.
Okay, I'll do that, Judge. I
Sure.
apologize.
No problem.
No, it's just an affidavit.
All right, on Christopher Gill.
Yes, Judge.
All right, so
We're just moving forward on the non-ownership.
all right, well, you want to check to the state to see if they have a motion? Maybe they can print it out.
I showed them this one, Judge, and they reviewed it.
No, I mean, your motion that you,
Oh, I wasn't gonna proceed on that, Judge. It's a NIMAC case, so it's not even indicted. So I was gonna ask if I could reserve that for a later time.
no, I'm not talking about the motion for various items. I mean, the other motion you have.
I don't have another motion. It's really just a status for the court. The court,
Okay,
I don't have a motion. Then.
okay. All right, just give me a moment. Let me read this. All right, Christopher Gill. All right, state. This is Mr. Gill. So the court received an updated letter. Have you received this?
This is one that I showed you.
I did see the affidavit of non-driving. Judge.
Okay, all right, we're going to record.
Yeah. I don't even know. I think.
All right, we're going to go on the record on NIMAC number 76270. State of Texas versus Christopher Gill. Can I have parties announce for the record for the state?
Daniel Escobar for the state of Texas.
Defense?
Guillermo Lara from Mr. Gill, Your Honor.
And are you Mr. Gill? All right, the defendant is charged with driving while intoxicated third or more. And the court has received an updated letter from pretrial services. Have both parties had a chance to review the document?
Yes, Judge.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so I have a few questions as it relates to this updated letter for your client. Any objections to the court asking him questions?
No, Judge.
All right, Mr. Gill, can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? You need to speak up. All right, you can lower your hand. All right, this letter states that you're not driving, is that correct? All right, you're whispering.
Yes. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Are there any other vehicles at your home?
Just my mother, but it's under her name and everything, so.
All right, here's the thing. That vehicle is going to have ignition interlock on it. If you have a vehicle at your home, the vehicle must have ignition interlock, because at the end of the day, your mom could let you drive. Sometimes when children ask for things, mothers are accommodating. So that vehicle has to have ignition interlock on it. Now, if that vehicle is not parked at your home, then it's not parked at your home and ignition interlock will not be needed. But as long as there's a vehicle in your driveway or at your home, needs ignition interlock. State any objection to that?
No, Your Honor. Going towards the removal of, I guess, removing the bond condition of ignition interlock for his vehicle, I would recommend Graham.
And Judge, we would ask for the Smart Start Mobile. At this point, he hasn't shown any reason why he would need a scram at this point. If there are any violations whatsoever on the Smart Start Mobile, then we would understand why the court would want that issue. But at this point, we're asking for him to have the Smart Start Mobile. Judge.
Why?
Basically he works, I mean, he's looking for a job. He doesn't work right now. He is looking for employment right now, and I think that's gonna be more of a restriction for him as opposed to, again, being able to have more flexibility. And in terms of also monetary, I believe this scram is approximately what, $200 or $300 a month. And that's also gonna limit him with respect to what he can do in terms of finances.
All right, state.
Again, Judge, as the state would just recommend the scram device just because it's one that goes with them everywhere. That would ensure just with the community safety. But ultimately, of course, we'll defer to the court.
All right. So here's the thing. What I'm going to order is he has to have ignition interlock on his mother's vehicle. And then I am going to order scram. And I'll ask that the fees be waived. I can tell you, they're going to tell me it's a third-party contract. They're not going to waive fees.
Judge, if I may, in terms of the ignition interlock, would it be necessary to have the ignition interlock on the mother's vehicle if he already has the scram then? It wouldn't be.
Yes.
I mean, it would.
The reason why is because if he has scram, that doesn't stop him from driving. That just tells us, hey, he drank.
Understood, Judge. I just feel there's at least restrictive means if he has ignition unlock on the mother's vehicle and Smart Start Mobile. And just my position from financing as well.
All right, this is what the court is going to order. I'm going to order ignition interlock on all vehicles at the home. I'm going to order 120 sober support meetings in 120 days. And I'll order weekly testing for alcohol for 120 days. Is there anything else?
Yes, Judge. Would the court revisit the issue of the scram if he's successful on the 120 days?
Well, I
And
didn't order
ignition-
scram.
Oh, sorry?
I'm ordering ignition interlock.
Okay, not scram. Is that-
No, not
okay,
scram.
understood.
I'm ordering ignition interlock to be on that vehicle. And you have 2 weeks to obtain the ignition interlock on the vehicle. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you able to do that financially?
I could work something out for sure.
All right. So we're going to do weekly testing for alcohol for 120 days. The ignition interlock needs to be on all vehicles at your location. And that needs to be done within 2 weeks. And I'm giving you 2 weeks because of the financial issue, the fact that you're unemployed. And I'm hoping that the weekly testing for alcohol will take care of any concerns. And so there's to be no driving for the 2 weeks, of course. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So you need to have ignition interlock. But no later than June 17th. All right. Any questions about anything that I'm ordering?
No, ma'am.
All right. And if something were to happen to your mom's vehicle and it's no longer there, then you have to come back and I'll put you on a different monitoring device. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you.
You, Judge.
You're welcome. All right. Today is your plea deadline date.
We rejected the plea. We have 2 cases on the docket. and
Mhm.
We would like our trial, our trials, or whatever you call it.
All right, Mr. Dotson. Your plea deadline date has expired. The court will not consider any plea bargain agreements in this case without good cause. Otherwise, you have to plead open to the court. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, state. On Mr. Dotson,
Yes, Judge.
he wants his jury trial.
Yes.
So what's a good date?
Any date, Judge? It's a drug case, so I mean, it shouldn't be that long.
All right. And I'll need an acknowledgement of discovery in each case number. Ms. Ferguson, I need a jury trial date. It's a drug case. Should be short, 2 days.
There are 2 cases.
2 days.
Wish I could tell you when I'm going to be in the Caribbean, but I'm not, so.
All right, we don't have any date in June or July. All right, you're set for jury trial, July 9th.
Thank you.
Dennis Johnson.
Right here, Bill.
All right, where's Mr. Johnson? Come forward.
John. DJ.
Hey. Where are the freckles though?
Oh, we lost him, Judge. Too much sun.
You know, he played hard.
He played hard.
A lot of people don't understand what we're talking about, but we know.
I don't like Boston.
Yeah.
That's the one. Dennis Johnson, that's. Yeah.
Oh, okay, he knows. Daniel, who is Dennis Johnson?
DJ.
Give you a hint, freckles. Oh, okay, that's okay. Boston Celtics.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, all right, Robert De Niro. Okay, so, are you retained on this case?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so,
Half hour.
all right, thank you. All right, have you received all the discovery?
Not sure, Judge. My client was just given a copy of the indictment today,
Okay,
so it's actually first setting. And I would have to check once it's uploaded, look through it. Supposed to state, and they said that they feel they have everything up here. I can get the opportunity to review briefly and then we'll see.
all right, and how old are you, sir?
I'm 29 now.
All right. So we're gonna come back on June 24th. And state, on June 24th, you'll need to have an acknowledgement of discovery and an offer tendered to defense.
Yes, sir. So there were two different settings.
No,
Huh? They've been merged.
it's merged, you know, as
That's
we
not-
see
that's
the
not
way the
third
system
stage.
works, we see how it goes. But you'll have a plea deadline date, it will be fine. Thanks for dressing appropriately for court.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, yeah.
All right, so we'll come back on
Trying
June.
to upstage you. Trying to upstage you.
Oh, he has upstaged a lot of people. But you know what? Your colors blend and go well. They coordinate very well together.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Like I say, you have to smart coordinate. Boomerang.
Yes.
Watch them go.
All right, once you sign the reset form, you're excused.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
But that I have.
On there.
Were you here when they were putting up the PT building? And there was an accident, a wall caved in on somebody?
Yes.
All right, so, you know, sometimes when you accept a bid for $20 and something really should cost 300, sometimes the least expensive way is not the best way to go. But I don't know how much this program costs.
Oh, I'm sure it was not cheap.
Well, hopefully at some point, the court appointed attorneys will have a raise. A living, well, I should say a living rate wage.
Yeah.
So this is our first. We're similar to the enterprise. We're going where no man has gone before. Without the help of Mr. Spock. So we're gonna see what happens. All right, court is calling 2024 CR 6146, State of Texas versus Anthony Chacon. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Zach Dunn proudly for the state.
Defense. And are you Mr. Chacon?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Don't disappoint everyone.
Your Honor, if we disappoint, my apologies.
That's okay. We'll see what happens. It's gonna be interesting. All right, counsel, have you received all the discovery and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Chacon, did you review the document entitled Application for Community Supervision or Deferred Adjudication with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, I did.
Counsel, is he applying for deferred?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
We are, Your Honor.
Did you understand you're charged with assault, family choking? That's a third-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine.
Yes.
If you have a plea with the state, court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes.
Mr. Chacon, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No.
Anyone promise you anything other than the plea?
No.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Now, as I see the plea paperwork, I see where things went sort of,
Yes, Your Honor. The system seems to shift everything, no matter how many times we try to
Hmm.
change the settings. So
oh no, it's done well. You know, everything that's here is supposed to be here. Maybe they'll fix that.
yes, Judge.
All right, did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it? According to the plea, the state is recommending deferred adjudication. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition? Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to be designated as primary custodial parent? Did you understand that to be the plea? Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it in both places?
Yes.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes.
Counsel, are there been any such motions? Outside the agreement, the state is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 2 years and there be no harmful or injurious contact with. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations? Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence?
Yes, Your Honor. State offers state doing attachments.
Any objection? State, I'm sorry, have you had a chance to speak with the complainant?
We have, Judge.
And is the complainant aware of this offer?
They are aware, Your Honor. Yes.
All right. Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial? A right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand? Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Court will defer finding of guilt as you applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
We'd like to.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Yes, Judge. I'd like the court to be aware that he's been in custody 95 days. He does not have a prior record. The complainant's family, not just the complainant, but her parents, they've all been very helpful towards Sir Chacon in terms of he doesn't have his own family to support him in his day-to-day life. And as you can see, he's very young. And all of them are very concerned about this extensive delay that he's had in the jail. Matter of fact, they're the ones that hired me to help him out in this case. So we're hoping the court would grant the deferred with the no harmful contact provision. I would tell you that the complainant was here in court last week when we were attempting the first time to get this case resolved. So she's totally on board with this arrangement. We know there's gonna have to be a tapping valve, maybe some other things, but we'd ask the court to do those while he's out of custody.
All right. So how old are you?
21.
21?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Are you employed?
No, not currently.
Were you employed during this incident?
Yes, I was.
How long have you had an alcohol problem?
About 2 years.
Do you have any children?
No, ma'am.
All right. So do you have a place to live with? Do y'all have a place together?
We did
All right, you did. So where is she living now?
with her parents.
And what are your plans for living arrangements?
Still haven't figured that out yet.
Judge, if I could jump in on that one.
Yes.
The mother suggested to me that if he were to get out on bond, because initially we were talking about bonding him out. She said they're gonna probably get a hotel room or something like that for him. They know that he doesn't have the resources to do it, but they've already contemplated that as a possibility.
All right. And where are your parents?
I don't have any contact with them
Why not?
because we got into a disagreement
Over what?
over a car accident. They believe that I was drunk at the time, but I wasn't. And since then, they haven't really wanted to talk to me.
And how long has this been?
8 months to a year.
Okay. All right, this is and this is the only case he has? No other prior history?
When we pulled the SID, that's all we saw, Your Honor, in terms of outstanding cases.
All right, have you ever been arrested before?
I have, but I did probation for 150 days and got it deferred.
All right, and what was that charge?
It was assault on a family member and public intoxication.
All right, and when was that?
Maybe 2 years ago.
Was that in Bear County?
I believe so, yes.
Are you sure it was in Bear County?
It very well may have been, Your Honor. Again, in terms of current cases, when you pull the SID, this is all we saw.
I did hire an attorney to get it expunged, so,
Ah,
That
okay,
might be
then we
why.
shouldn't be discussing that.
okay, my bad.
All right, so you should have just said, no, just so you know, legally, when someone asks you if something has been expunged, that means that it's no longer in existence.
Okay.
So the correct answer, well, the legally correct answer would be no, but I appreciate you being honest with the court because I'm trying to figure out what to do to get you the help that you need. All right,
I appreciate that.
State?
Yes, Your Honor, I believe to our current, if I pull up the TCIC and in municipal court back in 2022, there was a Class C wherein community supervision was extended and then I believe dismissed. So that is the full extent of the record we have, Judge.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. Court is going to sentence you to 3 years deferred adjudication. For now, I'm going to do no contact. Once you're in treatment for a little bit, your attorney can come back and the court will reconsider that. But you need to be away from stressors for a while to get in treatment, to do everything to get right with yourself. And you need to do that before you're even in another relationship. You understand?
No.
So there's going to be no contact with. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. There's to be regular random UAs. I'll do a referral to felony drug court. I'm going to do that in custody. The probation will put an order in, so they'll see you this week, and I'll know before the week is out whether they accept you. If they accept you, your probation is going to be transferred to felony drug court, and they will help you with your alcohol issues. They will help you with the housing issues. They will help you with job issues. You understand? And how far did you go in school?
I graduated high school and I graduated my trade school,
All right, what's your trade in?
welding.
All right, so welders make a lot of money. What are you planning on doing with that?
I was trying to get a job, but once I got into my car accident, it was hard to get a job because I didn't have a vehicle.
Oh, via bus. I've seen, when I used to ride the via bus, I would see welders on the via bus. Some of them were my clients. They were on the via bus, so it's doable. I don't know if people have shame in riding the via bus. There's no shame. Half the people who are on the via bus, you honestly have no reason to know why they're on it. Some people are on there, of course, for DWIs. Some people are on it because they just like riding the bus. I enjoyed riding the bus, leave the driving to them. It was awesome. Only thing I didn't like was the 92 because that takes you on Fredericksburg and that goes all around the city. That's the longest bus ride. I preferred 90, which is the Babcock bus. But there's no shame in it. You're just trying to get from point A to point B. It's a shame that they no longer have the nickel ad where you used to buy used cars out of the nickel ad for $300. Again, doesn't matter if your car is beat up, you get them from point A to point B. All right, so we'll do a referral to felony drug court. If felony drug court does not take him, then let's see about lifetime recovery. Lifetime recovery has housing, and that's to be done while in custody. We'll do 120 sober meetings in 120 days. Proof of employment within 45 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Field visits 1 time per month until in treatment for 2 months. And then thereafter to be at probation's discretion. So we do have to address the anger management issues that he has. State, what are you requesting?
BIP or anger management?
Judge, we would ask for the anger management. I think that the bigger function of this agreement was his being under the influence of alcohol. I think they seem to have a good relationship when he's the way he is right now.
Okay.
So if we can address the alcohol and the anger, yes, it's an issue, but not as much as the alcohol.
All right. Do you have something in between probation, in between anger management and BIP, sort of?
No, I would say the anger management class.
Okay. All right. There's going to be anger management. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. Probation. I'm leaning towards not doing community supervision because he really needs to be in inpatient treatment for the alcoholism. Do you have any objection to that? State,
No, Judge.
defense?
There you go.
All right, probation. Is there anything else he needs?
And I was thinking about that one class.
Domestic, yes, let's do that. It's 1 class. They have a live domestic violence impact class. My understanding, it's 1 class, and that way he'll see the impact his drinking has on others, the impact your violence has on others. You understand?
Yes.
Is
So-
this, and I apologize, sir, is this the class that begins with the H? HMAC?
Yes.
Done. Okay, thank you, Judge. I appreciate the clarification.
All right. Probation, is there anything else he needs? Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
Not that I can think of right now.
All right, I'm going to show you trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it? Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing. In this court, to be successful on probation, communication is key. If you have an issue, let your probation officer know. Pick up the phone, call your probation officer. If they don't answer, leave a message. If you don't leave a message, it's like you didn't even call. You understand? If you still feel they're not addressing it, you can always come back to the court. But whatever you do, do not do this thing where you throw up your hands and you stop reporting. Because once you start reporting, there's a snowball effect. And I can guarantee you a motion to revoke will be filed, and then you will be looking at 10 years in the prison. You understand?
Yes.
Now, this is what I'm going to tell you. Before you get into any other relationship, buy an orchid. And this is why I tell people this. Orchids, when you get them from the store, the flowers are on it. It comes with instructions. They'll tell you to put ice in it, which you're not supposed to do, but they'll tell you, put ice on it. But the reason why I suggest that plant is because that plant will teach you patience. Once the leaves fall off, once the flowers fall off, if you can get that same plant to rebloom, you may be ready for a relationship. Because orchids, you can't give them direct sunlight. It has to be indirect. You think you're giving them indirect sunlight, but guess what? They don't bloom. Then their leaves sort of get not as bright and beautiful as it was before, and you keep wondering, what am I doing wrong? You do research. A relationship is similar to that. You got to pay attention to things and pay attention to cues. You understand? All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
All right. Ray, do you need an orchid? I don't think you do.
No.
You've been in a relationship
Francis
for a
got
while.
one for Mother's Day. I'm
Yeah.
not sure how it's doing.
All right. How's Francis doing? I miss her.
She's doing really well. but-
Awesome. Is she enjoying her retired life?
8 years. She should be returned.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You know, whenever I would see her at the courthouse, she would always give me a hug and she would be so serene. The energy would just flow through her.
She'd be more chilled out.